Hello everybody, it's your good old buddy Dr. Matthews. I'm here once again with Exposing TDCJ. We have here Miss Wheeler. We're here talking in regards to her husband by the name of Gregory Wheeler. And then guess where they from? They out of Smith County, which is Tyler, Texas. The whole mafia of Texas, if you ask me, because Smith County always has some foolishness that's going on. And see, this is the picture of Miss Wheeler and her husband. Her husband is currently housed in Gatesville, which is on the other side of Waco. This man is serving a life sentence for charges that was put on him. This man actually went to jail on a misdemeanor charge. We got all the evidence and we about to get into it. So, how you doing, Miss Wheeler?
I'm doing good.
In spite of all of this here stuff?
Yes, in spite of all of this. As you stated, yes, out of Smith County, Texas, this is where this all began. And we've been fighting for 20 years, right at 20 years.
20 years?
Right at 20 years.
Wow. And you know what? And it's sad because we're seeing this happening to Black and brown people across the state, especially in the little small counties.
Yes.
And look, guys, y'all not gonna believe what we got here with this evidence. So, what we have is the actual arrest warrant, okay? Here's the arrest warrant right here, where he actually came in on a misdemeanor charge, okay? So, this was dated July 7th, 2005. And so this here is also the arrest report. And the arrest report also states, which is right here, for a misdemeanor charge. Okay, now y'all follow me with this. Then we have the incident offense report. See, when I was going through these documents, which is this one right here, when I was going through these documents, I started seeing a lot of foolery. So with this specific document, it stated that it was dispatched to FM 14 Tyler, Texas, right? Okay, and then they added this charge where it's an aggravated assault causing bodily injury. And this here was interesting that I see this, right? But when I go back to here, the arrest warrant does not read the same as the incident report. The arrest warrant states that the same deputy was dispatched to East Texas Medical Center, not FM 14 Tyler, Texas. See, that's one discrepancy right there. See, just lying, just doing all this. Tell me what you think about this, Ms. Wheeler.
Yes, because originally, you know, the incident offense report is what they made up in order to create this felony, to discard the misdemeanor charge.
Yeah, I see that. And then I also see with this document, they already gave this man an address to the Michael unit in TDCJ before he could even go before the judge. It's right here. It's right here. So it was like they already made up the charge. They already made all this up. This incident report supposed to be in correlation and in alignment with the affidavit, the arrest warrant affidavit, and that's not what's going on. Ooh, Smith County. Nasty work. Nasty work. And then, you know, when we were going through the documents and things like that, you know, we definitely gonna look at court transcripts. We're gonna look at all this. So like, kind of tell me before we get to the court transcripts, like, how has this made you feel seeing this stuff that they've done to your husband?
Well, it really creates a sense of, you know, you can sometimes feel hopeless because the very people who are supposed to have integrity and do what's right, they're not. and to not have a due process or be allowed a due process, it's just really irritating, frustrating, and it's just sad, to say the least.
And I know this is taking a toll on your family.
Yes.
Because this case has actually taken a toll on me, just even going through this stuff, because I see the wrongdoing. I see what's being done because it's in black and white. This is no hearsay. So here's the jail call. And y'all already know, for those of y'all that's in trouble, you know what that means about that jail call. You know, that's the first thing that you gonna go to before they even try to put in a charge, sentence you, anything. So here is his jail call back on February 23rd, 2006. Now, with this transcript, now this is the transcript, so people can lie, evidence don't. And looking at this transcript, it dealt with, who is this? It was Judge Cynthia Stevens Kent. Huh. Okay. But let me tell you what the judge said, according to this transcript. She was like, where it states here, y'all got excuse because it's a lot of documents. And just so you know, the court-appointed attorney, he dead now, so he can't talk, but this evidence can. So she asked the attorney by the name of Melvin Thompson, who's dead now. But anyway, she was like, what in the world is going on here? He's in jail for 418 days for a misdemeanor? 418 days for a misdemeanor? And then she was like, why is this on my agenda? Misdemeanor assault. Now let's be clear, when you go and look up this judge, she is a felony court judge. So she's asking, why is this guy in her courtroom with a misdemeanor charge? See, it's already turning shady. So then, it goes down to this is what the judge states. I want something today about why this man is being held without formal charges being filed for 418 days. Okay, being held for 418 days without formal charges. Smith County. Then she said, I want this back on my agenda for tomorrow morning. Then she said, let's call Mr. Thompson. Tell Mr. Thompson, I want to know why this man is being held and Mr. Thompson hasn't filed a motion, okay? What's this 418 days? Everything is here in the court transcript. So it's already shady business. Like, he's in a felony court with a misdemeanor charge, but he was in jail for 418 days without being formally charged. That's exactly what the judge said.
She said it.
That's against the law. You can't do that.
It is.
So tell me what you think about that.
I mean, when you had a history of doing what you want to do, it's like Smith County is known for doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
And this is a prime example of that. And if we didn't have the black and white, it's no fight.
None.
How can you fight? They literally, he was in jail 418 days.
And not formally charged.
Exactly.
And then the judge turned around and she says, I want the people responsible for holding this man in jail this long in this court tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the morning to tell me what's going on. She said, there may be a really good reason and a good explanation, okay? And I want to hear it, because if there's not, there's going to be heck to pay about why for the first time he shows up on my jail list with 418 days and I don't know anything about it until right now. And she said, okay, but we're gonna find out.
Right, so we never know, we didn't ever find out about tomorrow.
Because they start getting dirty and shady.
That's where these felony charges came from. Then they started making those up.
Okay, so then I'm looking at this docket here, right? So what I find interesting on this document, this here is the criminal docket, everybody, right here. Okay, now I'm gonna tell y'all what I find interesting. It has the seal on the back, so this is an official document. And so what I find interesting on this document here, it states, I'm like this, how can you do an indictment on 2/9 2006, a felony indictment before his jail call. They did this on February the 9th before he even went to jail call. So if we go back to this document with the jail call was February 23rd, 2006.
Right.
So how can you do an indictment before the jail call process? Do y'all see what I'm talking about here? Oh my God. And then, what? No arrest warrant for the felony?
There was
no arrest warrant for the felony. See, this is where they started to add, they started to make up the charges. This is what they did.
Absolutely.
Right here. If you look at this thing, it talks about indictment. How can you do that before a jail call? It's right here. Smith County activities. Now, I wonder how many other people they done this to. Because, see, I know they did this to my little homeboy that's down there, and he white, and his name Lance. And what's Lance's last name?
Phillips.
Lance Phillips. They locked him up, violating his constitutional right for freedom of speech. Now look what they over here violating this man's constitutional right. You over here adding charges, not giving the man due process. The judge want to know, why is he in her court? Why is he in her court and she's a felony court judge? He's supposed to be in a misdemeanor court. And so when she started calling it out, then that's when they start adding stuff and getting shady. So now, tell me when all that was going on, like, how was Mr. Gregory handling this?
I mean, he reached out, he wrote the judge. Like, they have a letter that he wrote to the judge. Originally, his charge was, the misdemeanor charge was in Judge Dunn's court. They did away, like literally anything that had to do with the misdemeanor, they did away with it. He was trying to find out, hey, what's going on? What's going on? Like, he wrote the judge. Then his attorney came to see him and told him, like, don't do that. Like, what? I'm trying to find out what's going on, because
he was court appointed, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He was.
And they normally do that. And then check this, guys. Now the trial on the merits is this court document here. This is the court transcript for this. So now we done fast forward to here. So now we at the trial. They done already added. They done already, I ain't gonna say add, they done made up the charge, because that's what they did. Because the man came in with a misdemeanor. They done made the charges up. So now we at the point of the trial merit, which was January 12th, 2007. Okay. So the lead detective, I know y'all know who she is, because she was the lead detective on here, and her name is Pamela Dunklin. Don't that name ring a bell? Tell us what Pamela do. What, she a reality TV star, ain't she?
Yeah, she was on Lone Star Justice.
Lone Star Justice, huh? So let's see Miss Lone Star Justice. Let me show you what type of Lone Star Justice she likes to give to people of color. So when we read the transcript, when it comes to the cross-examination, they asked her, how do you know a vehicle was used in the commission of this? This was in reference to the case. Guess what she said? Because she told me so. So all you know is what she told you? Yes, sir. You didn't investigate that? You didn't find that as a result of an independent investigation? She said, no, sir. And he said, how do you know that a blunt instrument was used? She said, based on what she told me. So how can you be on Lone Star Justice and you over here basing an investigation on allegations, hearsay, and you did not do your proper investigation, but you on Lone Star Justice? Yeah, we're exposing your behind too. Tell me about her.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at this. And then she turned around, wait a minute. Then the question was, did you see the instrument? They asked her this, did she see the instrument? Guess what she said, y'all? No, sir. So then he turned around and say, so if she's lying, then that's not true. Is that correct? And then she said correct. So you pretty much added and amplified for a man to get a life sentence that was completely innocent.
Correct.
Baby, you know what you did, because everybody finna know what you did. That is horrible. And so when we look at the judgment, right? The judgment, now, the first misdemeanor was assault family member, it says assault family violence, class A misdemeanor. That was what he was booked for. That was what he was originally supposed to be in there for. How did it jump from that to felony offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and a second degree felony enhanced to a first degree felony? Because they added them charges. What they did, they made up the charges. Because remember what I said early in that interview. Early on in this interview, the judge wanted to know, why was this man with a misdemeanor charge in her court? Why did he serve 418 days without being officially charged? So now they done put this judgment on this man. They made the charges up on this man. I mean, it's right here, people. It's right here.
Never arrested.
And then, look here, and then his conviction, convicted again. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Right here. So this man is sitting in TDC with a life sentence, because he did have priors, with a life sentence for something that he did not do on that level of the charges that they gave him, that they made up on him. Where's the justice in that?
There is no justice.
And I mean, I'm just looking at this like, this is horrible. Even like the case summary. The case summary is not even adding up, y'all. Like, how did that happen? Now just think if you did not have this documentation.
And how can you fight? Like, every time he's appealed, his paperwork's changed.
Him, y'all.
Every time he's appealed, his paperwork has changed.
And check this, the paperwork that we were showing you guys, they don't even have it. But it got official seal, official signatures, and everything that's on it. Interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
So
yes.
I know that this has taken a toll on you and your family. We look forward to going to see Mr. Gregory Wheeler in TDC so we can get his, part on this as well, because, this is wrong. And like any civil rights attorneys that's out there, this family needs you. This family needs you guys, because it's clearly a civil rights violation. This man was violated due process. This man, civil rights was violated. We need strong civil rights attorneys. Not nobody that's playing around. We need somebody that's gonna step in and expose, and we're gonna do our part to help and assist. This is horrible. So I know that you was telling me that you have a poem that you wanted to read about this. Yes. Because it's therapeutic to kind of
it is
write and everything.
Because when you're experiencing corruption and things like that, it's not only him going through it. Like, everyone is affected. Myself, the kids, everyone is affected by this. And as the quote states, injustice anywhere is
a threat to justice everywhere.
Everywhere.
Martin Luther King, absolutely.
That's real. And I just wanted to read this poem that I had, Gregory and myself had came up with, and it's called Can You Imagine? And this is by Gregory. It says, can you imagine being a victim of the very people of the justice system who were put in position to uphold the law and not break it? The very people who were entrusted to have integrity, standards, morals, and ethics to do the right thing even when no one was watching. Can you imagine having your constitutional rights and due process violated in such a way that a total miscarriage of justice it wouldn't even justify the outcome. Can you imagine being locked up, as Ms. Candice has stated, Dr. Matthews has stated, for 418 days on a Class A misdemeanor without being formally charged? Then have it covered up with a false incident offense report, false charge of aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury, and a false arrest dated to the same arrest as that misdemeanor charge. Then taking the trial on these made-up charges and giving a life sentence. Can you imagine? Whew. After being convicted with these false charges, the felony charges, and appealing, your very same people turned around knowingly, as they state, willingly and intentionally, changed the charge to another false aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Can you imagine fighting for your life for 20 years to prove your actual innocence? These false made-up charges, and the more you fight to prove your innocence, the more it's covered up. Can you imagine going to the clerk to get the copies of your files and find out they're not there, and she's taking them home with her?
You know what?
Can you imagine?
I'm gonna say this again. So, but you got recording of that, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Of her telling you
she had taken his files home.
And wait a minute, and this the same clerk who was already arrested?
Arrested, yes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna show y'all her too.
Yeah. Well, guess what, guys? This is no figment of your imagination. This was a true, real-life nightmare that has occurred in the case of my husband, Gregory Wheeler.
You know what? That was very profound, because everything that you said is right here. The evidence don't lie.
Absolutely.
People lie, but evidence don't. So everybody that's watching this, I need you guys to let's galvanize and gather around this family, because injustice has been done once again. And we need to ensure that it doesn't happen again. Thank you all for coming out here, because I'm just gonna say it again. People lie, evidence don't. See you next time.